Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Salette Rugby. Today, the B-side, Salette, will be playing against Bixby's JV, Bixby Rugby Club. Today, I'm back here with my law manager and color commentator, Malachi Martin.
Hello. Anyways, it looks like it's going to be exciting, mostly because Brendan Kellerman just gave me a little peek-see at the food that we're going to have afterwards.
Oh, man.
Always the best part.
And for you viewers who were just watching the A-side game, you all know how we were talking about that delicious food that Mr. Kellerman and the other St. Louis parents will be cooking up. We want to thank them greatly for their hospitality. Also, a lot of St. Louis families and St. Clement, Missouri, Silex, Missouri, and all those places that are really close by. All the kids are running around. They're all having a good time. It's good to see that. Rugby, Salette Rugby, everyone comes together from that certain area, and they all have a good time, as we can see here. It looks like Salette B-side starting off with a good, decently strong. The Sir did not like Bixby's start-off kick. I guess he didn't drop kick it first. It has to be a drop kick from the 50-meter line, or else it doesn't really count. And it looks like he did not drop kick it. He kicked it a bit too soon before it hit the ground. The ball has to hit the ground before you kick it, sorry.
In the case that they do not perform a drop kick, the other team can decide if they want a re-kick or to take it at the 50 with a scrum. I suppose Salette wanted to trap all the opposing teams forwards in a scrum and have their backs try to run it out. So they did choose the scrum. Honestly, it looks like it's working.
The Salette lineup, because I got it. Number 1, Tony Carlisle, that baby rhino from New York. Number 2, hooker Carlos Speck, a junior. Number 3, Seamus Hanlon from St. Louis, Missouri. This is his hometown. Already had a really hard run, knocking over several people. Number 4, Nicholas Kellerman, also from St. Louis, Missouri. Number 5, Benedict Blood from Glendale, Michigan. Number 6, Pita Iketuku Agbapwo. I might have mispronounced that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced.
No, spot on.
Spot on. He is from Washington, D.C. Number 7, Henry Dittman from Idaho. Number 8, Patrick McDonald from Arcadia, California. He is a sophomore, and he's playing 8-man, which is a big man position in the scrum. So we will see how he will do this today. Number 9, we have William Reen. He is starting B-side. He hasn't really been playing much because of his size. He's a very small man, but now he's a junior. He's grown up a bit. And he is going really hard now. And he's also he started in the Bishop Moeller game when the B-side played them, because John Bronner, who would be playing 9, did not have his weekend for contact for rugby, which you must have before you play. And also, John Bronner for this tournament is sick. He is currently sick in bed. Poor lad. He is sick in bed and cannot play the 9 position. He's been sick for this past couple days, sicker than the rest who have been sick. Number 10, we have Thomas Mackin, a sophomore, who is very broad and very shifty. Number 11, Joseph Thomas Mackin, who is not related to the other Mackin. He is from Cincinnati, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio. I'm sorry. He's from Cleveland, Ohio, and is a Cleveland Browns fan. Very hardcore Cleveland Browns fan and a very good football fan. Nicholas Kellerman scores the try. Those long legs, putting in the work. Nobody wants to tackle that man. That is a very big, scary man. Now continuing with the lineup. Sosa Sumantri, who's playing 14, a wing, is the kicker. He, surprisingly, is from Singapore, as many people will be wow about. He's from Singapore. He was, when he played soccer in Singapore, in the youth league that he played in, he was the top scorer in the nation, because Singapore is basically a nation city type thing. I just butchered that, but that's basically what it is. Joseph Sumantri was the best in that area at scoring goals, and he was on the national youth team and did very, very well.
Despite the size of that city, it is still an incredibly impressive thing to do that. There are many people. It's a very populated city, so definitely doesn't take away from his prestige at all that it was not immensely large.
And many people play soccer there too, that being their main sport. Number 12, we have Henry Betts, brother of the La Salette number 11 A-side Samuel Betts. Number 13, Martin Schoberly, who also scored today for the varsity. Number 14, Joseph Sumantri, as we have already mentioned. There is no number 15 and no number 16 on the field, but we have Sean Holman, number 19, playing 15, I believe. And number 17, Joseph Cadano. Number 18, Andrew Sick, who supposedly couldn't play from different injuries he's had in a four-wheeler accident, but he finally was able to persuade Father Sick and his parents to let him play. Number 19, Sean Holman, as we already mentioned. And number 23, Thomas Schrader. He is a senior. He is a very comical lad. He's also the head of Dish Pit and does a very good job of waking up early in the mornings and doing extra dishes, coming in after Compline at nights, and doing things that people really don't want to do.
Elijah's really just patting himself on the back. He's the junior head of dishes, although he does as well do an amazing job with that. I do like having clean plates in the morning.
Thank you, Malachi. Malachi is also MC, junior head of trash crew. He takes out all that nasty garbage. And he also trains incompetent freshmen and teaches them how to serve. Because some really don't want to serve, or should I say some of the sophomores, namely a few who we will not mention. But in any case, we are at the B-side game currently. Watching a B-side scrum currently.
La Salette knocked it on, so the scrum was awarded to the Bixby club.
A nice active tackle by Henry Betts. There's still no clouds in the sky except for some jet streams from some planes up above, because there's the airport. The St. Louis airport is nearby, so we have overflying planes. In fact, I think I can hear one now flying over our heads. Nicholas Kellerman manhandling number 12. Nick Kellerman got low, but the thing is he's so tall that his low is the other one's high. And La Salette gets the penalty, not releasing. The ball was not released from the person who was on the ground. The person on the ground has to release the ball. And there's Seamus Hanlon bowling forward. Nickname Boss.
Also known as Moose. I don't know quite why. He has the build of a ballerina. He definitely acts like it's smashing people 200, 300 pounds, not really, but still. Impressive figure.
I think maybe nicknamed Moose because of his Moose. I don't know. The last part of the Moose.
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, if you're pronouncing it literally, it'd be Seamus. But because it's an Irish name, you have that S-E-A, Seamus.
Sometimes I wonder, do the Irish pronounce letters differently just to, like, kind of, I don't know, show the English what's what? kind of a little independence. I don't know.
I don't know. Definitely the Irish don't really like the English. That's for sure. As we all know on the never mind, I will not mention terrorist organizations over broadcast. The Irish are definitely not English fans, and that's for sure. So I don't know. Maybe they try to do that. That's probably why Connor in Ireland is spelled with 2 N's, an O and an R, and in England, I think it's spelled with 1 N. I'm pretty sure. But there's also different ways of spelling Connor. C-O-N-O-R, C-O-N-N-E-R, C-O... Oh, Peter Agbat-Perrone! Marching his way through many big men. And he is not even big himself, standing at about 5'10", 150 pounds. And time off. Can't really see what's going on there.
Looks like the sir is talking with the captain of Bixby. Looks like some penalty was committed against La Salette.
Trying to keep the foul play to a minimum. Trying to keep the... I don't even know if it was foul play or maybe something was unsafe. Maybe accident happened. Accidents happen. But those things are just those things. And if Bixby shows the same thing again with the same person, then we will know it was intentional. But for the time being, we must assume the best in everyone. Harry Dittman passed to nowhere, but Martin Shore recovers it. Offload to Sean Holman to Samantri, who cuts in. Very swift. Big Tony, or Baby Rhino, pushing through. You don't want to have to tackle him. Thomas Mackin's little brother, Patrick Mackin, who is in 8th grade. I was just watching a Seaside 2 versus 8th grade scrimmage. And, oh, maybe Lussell can get a try. And they do. Tony Carlisle, Baby Rhino, plows in for a try. And that is a big little boy. But as I was saying, with the C2 versus 8th grade scrimmage, the 8th grade won single-handedly. Patrick Mackin took the ball out of the scrum like a running back and weaseled his way through multiple Seaside 2, which was made up of sophomores and freshmen and a few 8th graders, of their defense and scored 3 tries. It was quite impressive. My mind was blown at because before Luke Ziss, another 8th grader, was saying how, yeah, Patrick Mackin, he's like a fullback in football, running back. He's just plows through everybody. He's so small and quick. And I was like, yeah, that's because he thinks he's one. And then he did it. I was like, oh. And Samantri makes, no, it's Sean Holman. Sean Holman makes his kick. So Sean Holman has a kick under his belt, and Joseph Samantri has a kick under his belt. And soon, and Sean Holman places the ball in the middle very kindly for the Bixby Rugby Club to kick it back to them. And the wind's picking up again. So it is against, so Sean was kicking against the wind, and it was a pretty good, accurate kick for against it. And if I'm not mistaken, Bixby is from somewhere in the southwestern part of the United States. I do not remember what state. Maybe from Texas, but I'm not sure. But they would have had to travel a long way. Last only had to travel 3 hours, which is a usual drive for a school in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, or middle of the universe, depending on how you look at it.
Middle of nowhere, middle of the universe, or in a whole Some people say it's a whole nother continent. When Thomas Mackin gets low, it's hard to tackle him because he's already so low. Seamus Hanlon, as soon as he gets that ball, he grabs it, clutches it in, and turns on the Rockets. And he moves at such great speeds. Sean Holman. Sumantri, down the sideline, stays in. Trips over the orange line on the 22. Good support from the Salette, comes back. Dummy switch pass. He exploits the hole. The other team was clueless. The dummy switch pass is basically where the number 10 takes it and fakes a pass out to the rest of the backs, but then passes it backwards to a back who's running behind him. And the back exploits the hole that's there.
The Bixby has a successful poach, so they have stolen the ball after they tackled one of the Salette players. It is now in their possession.
The sun is currently staring at the broadcasters in the eyes. So it is hard to see what's going on in the field because the field is in front of the sun. And the field is also in front of us, which is in front of the sun. And the sun is bright.
That was deep. What he meant to say was that the sun is in our eyes, we can't see very well, so bear with us.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say. Thank you, Malachi. That's why you are here. I'm not the smartest lad in the group.
No, but you're definitely the most entertaining.
Aw. Thank you, Malachi.
Anyways, there's a scrum. Looks like to Salette. The Bixby people, although they did steal the ball, they unfortunately knocked it on.
Unfortunately for them. But we have a eight-man pick. Is that Patrick McDonald? That will be Patrick McDonald scoring a try. A brilliant run from the California native. Now that's 3 tries in approximately 15 minutes.
3 tries unanswered by Bixby. We'll see how they take this.
And I can't really make out who's kicking
It
because of the glare.
looks like Sumantri.
Now if I put my hand over my glasses, I can see. Oh, yes. I think it is Sumantri.
His floppy bowl cut kind of gives him away.
I don't think that's what he was going for. He usually likes we're just all around, but... And it's good. Sumantri, 2 for 2. Brilliant kicking by Joseph Sumantri. Absolutely brilliant. And there is water being passed out to Bixby. Apparently they didn't get water underneath the tri-posts. And Salette waits for the ball back. Carlos Speck receives the kick. And he yoinks a younger buck.
Ooh, that's going to hurt in the morning. He definitely smacked that kid hard. Ooh.
Tony Carlisle leaving people in his wake. They can't take him down. The offload to Peter Egbat-Perron. Offload to no one, but it looks like it could have been a knock-on.
It was indeed a knock-on.
No, it wasn't. They didn't call a knock-on. They called diving in.
Diving in.
That's too bad. That was a good run by Tony Carlisle. Approximately 40 meters of just pure Tony. Now, he isn't fast at all in the least, but he will leave people suffering on the ground. if you happen to be the one who has to tackle him or attempts to tackle him and misses.
And as Mr. Dean told us in sophomore physics, horsepower divided by something or other, divided by weight, by I have no idea what, it really
Time.
hurts if you're that big. If you're that big, it doesn't matter how fast you're going, you are going to put pain on the person who is attempting to tackle you. And that is something that Tony does very, very well.
Now that was a flunk, and that was a knock. Now in basketball, that would have been a technical foul, slamming the ball on the ground. But since this is not basketball, it's rugby, more rough things are acceptable. For example, in basketball, you are not allowed to drop very bad words out loud. But in rugby,
you are not allowed to do that. This is also a gentleman's game. Thank you, Elijah, for pointing that out.
yes. Well, yeah. Sorry. I don't know. It just seems like the players usually do that more.
Oh, not on our
Not
team,
our players.
obviously, but
The other players.
yeah, sometimes the other team is a little bit more coarse than Los Salette strives to be, but definitely a good influence on them. They usually leave the field with a slightly cleaner vocabulary.
Indeed.
Anyways, off the scrum, Los Salette passes out, and
Thomas Mackin.
little Thack boy makes
Thomas
another
Mackin
try.
scores a try. Thomas Mackin. Thomas Mackin is from Philadelphia, an Eagles fan, a Phillies fan, and a Philadelphia 76ers fan. He was a bit upset when the Chiefs beat the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl.
Just
but
slightly, though.
Yeah, just slightly, but unfortunately he bore the brunt of abuse, being the only Eagles fan in the entire school. Everyone made fun of him, but he took it well, and he hoped for good things from this season, but the good things didn't really happen.
And he didn't even point out how the Chiefs cheated.
Chiefs didn't
Well,
cheat.
I'm sorry, did I say that on
No,
broadcast?
the Chiefs did not cheat.
Oh, sure they did. There's no way.
No, I'm a Chiefs fan, but
Bandwagoner.
people, yeah, that's what they all say. But I'm from Kansas City, so they can't really say that. Going for the home team, you know.
Sean Holman, another kick. Good.
Now, since we won't be seeing Sebastian Cook during this rugby, we should probably mention a couple things about him. Sebastian Cook hails from Kalispell, Montana, and he is a Broncos fan. He sticks hard and true to the Broncos. Very hard and true. And he also knows, he's also good friends with the McQuillans and the Dittmans and Esparza. Well, you know, might as well give some shout-outs to some friends, help him out a bit, because his ankle is still pretty bad. And we all know he wants to be out in the field today, but he is not able to, and he only is able to look on. But we thank him for his patience and his heroism in doing so.
He also does love being called Grandpa with his injured ankle, hobbling around. He does love the attention. Sometimes he'll even talk like a grandpa.
Carried from place to place, you know.
He's definitely enjoying this way more than he should be. Anyways, as soon as his ankle is all nice and healed up, he will be back on the field ready to smash and be smashed.
Sebastian Cook also has some notable stats for being a sub and only coming in for a little bit. In the Moeller game, he amassed 2 tackles at the very end of the game when he came in. He did very well. And inside the Rockford game, he had 4 tackles, which was some of the most on the team because the team's tackles were divided out pretty evenly. I'm sorry we don't have any B-side stats. We weren't able to get any from lack of time. Henry Betts had a good run there. Nicholas Kellerman, people don't want to tackle his legs, that's for sure. They just try and throw him down. There's a lot going on. The forwards crashing. Henry Dittman. Offload to McDonald. Not rolling away. When the defender tackles someone when he is on the ground, he has to roll away from the ruck, or at least try as hard as he can to get away from the ruck. In that case, the ref decided that he was not trying to roll away from the ruck, and he didn't roll away at all. The kick didn't go out. Looks like the wind has changed directions.
Hate it when that happens.
But it will not be so in the second half.
Good tackle by Tony.
Good communication on the field right now. The Salette Lions. You hear Thomas Mackin yelling spread right. Sean Holman with a good catch. Passing up all the people.
That's a familiar run from this year's varsity basketball season. He could be seen sometimes on the court, running down, setting up the post and such.
Sean Holman, he didn't play very much this basketball season, but we do want to commemorate him for his hard work during the PEs that nobody saw during the practices, banging up against the guys like Charles Prather, who could not have gotten better if it weren't for Sean Holman being there to help play defense on him, and at some point in times play offense on him to help with the defense. Looks like they need a sub for Nicholas Kellerman. And on the field we have Andrew Sick coming in for Nicholas Kellerman. Now, Andrew's sick this year. He has been having some trouble with his head, apparently. He had a concussion 2 summers ago from a four-wheeler crash. He also had almost a full body bruise, which was really bad, and he had a really hard time getting back into the swing of things. Now, this year, he had some trouble getting into the rugby. At first, he was told that he wouldn't be able to play rugby, but he wanted to. And so he got the permission to play. He got cleared to play.
In case you're wondering, it seems that we just got a penalty, but then the penalty had to come back. It is because the scrum half, William Marine, did not pass the ball through the penalty line, so it simply had to come back and pass it through again, and we successfully gained yardage until the Bixby players did steal it and made considerable yardage right now.
Approximately a 40-meter run right there by a little small guy. He would have made it all the way through. Oh, but it was stolen back. Is that Andrew Sick? Andrew Sick making a difference right on the field. He is a very strong, quick, as we saw in this basketball season. Very quick and strong. He also led the Frosh-Soft to a second place in the Spartan St. Joagdan tournament, which was the farthest La Salle has ever gotten in that basketball tournament. Andrew Sick amassing 23 points in one of the games and 20 points in the second place game.
21 of those 23 points were threes, 4 of them in a row, which is
20,
that's pretty legendary.
4 times 3 is 12.
And then he had 3 other threes, which adds up to 21. And then, okay.
According to the stat book, he had 4 twos, 4 threes, and 3 free throws, which amasses to 23 points. Yes. Another way, he was dominating, and that's all that matters. But in the last game, he had a hard time because he had to carry the whole weight of the game on his shoulders. So he also had room for mistakes. And Sean Holman places a try right in the center of the uprights. The La Salle Lions seem to have very little difficulty playing against these Bixby Rugby Club.
This is the 5th unanswered try.
And Sean Holman will be kicking the try he scored. He's 1 for 1 right now, and he set it up perfectly for an easy kick right down the center. He's kicked 2, sorry. Sean Holman has kicked 2 and made 2. Very good kicking today from the B-side. Makes me looking to charge down. The wind is against him. And he puts it through the uprights. 5 for 5, La Salette Academy. When broadcasting for this long and having ears as big as mine, these headphones really start hurting the old ears. So if I get loud and quiet, that is because I'm readjusting them. And same thing with Malachi, but he is suffering in silence. I tend to yip-yap more about it.
If I didn't think that there were a couple hundred people listening, I would totally complain. But as it is, I will suffer a white martyrdom.
There you have it, folks. The famous Malachi Martin has went. Connor Hanlon is enjoying some family time right now after his A-side game, second on a lollipop.
A recovery lollipop, we like to call it in rugby.
Recovery lollipop, yes. It is for very important reasons. Nutritional facts and all that. Sumo ends the half with a simple kick out of bounds. Salette has been simply dominant in this first half. We'll see what they can do in the second half. Now we're going to give our ears a break, and we're going to give you a break from our horrible, complaining. But thank you for watching this first half, and we will be back for the second half after this break. Thank you.
See you, folks.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this second half of the La Salette versus Bixby game. I'm sorry we were not here for this first part that just happened. We were talking with Father Carlisle,
our direct supervisor and manager, also rugby extraordinaire. Anyways, La Salette has already scored another try and made the kick, it looks like.
La Salette players shouting ready, symbolizing that they are ready for whatever's coming. They're trying to scare the other team and trying to show them that there is no way that they're going to score again. And they're going to go and get after it. They're going to go and show effort. It looks like there's a flunk kick. And there will be a scrum at the half for the second time this game.
La Salette scrum off of looks like a knock-on. Passes it. Another knock-on, this time on La Salette. There will be a scrum awarded to Bixby. For the most part of this game, La Salette hands have been pretty good, catching and passing with accuracy. Also, our tackling has been pretty good, and smashing through the defense has definitely been good for the first half, so hopefully we can keep it up for the second half.
This is one of the first scrums. There's not been much scrummaging going on during this game. We are sorry, the scoreboard that is outside is incorrect, and so we're not able to figure out if the score was 35 or 40, but it is indeed 40, confirmed by Tom Stafke, the film. And the goal of the defense is to be in a flat line, and that everyone who is in that line tackles his man. That is what the defense depends on. There, Andrew Sick makes a very strong tackle. And the team should advance as a line so that there is no hole or gap in the line for anyone to execute or penetrate.
Bixby tries to pass it more towards the wing, hoping that after having smashed a couple times in the middle of the field, La Salette defense would be pulled in. However, La Salette's doing a pretty good job keeping the defense spread out so that if they did get out to the wing, there would be somebody there to tackle him.
Very strong tackle by Andrew Sick again. And Carlos Speck. Joseph Montry brings down one on the wing. Good tackling here by La Salette. No one has really exploited any holes because there are no holes to exploit. Very good tackling. Barely any missed tackles here. And there's time off. Speaking with the captain again. It looks like there'll be a scrum to put the ball back into play. Can't really see what happened there. Maybe there was a knock on, maybe there's something the ref didn't like. Maybe they thought someone was injured. Tony was on the ground for a bit long, but he got popped back up, got back in place. And set's called. But a scrum is stolen.
Bixby, number 2, the hooker, manages to hook the ball away from the La Salette and roll it out the back, their side of the scrum, and they steal the ball. However, they don't quite make it to the gain line.
Diving into the ruck. So Martin Shorley got his arms stuck in there and has left his feet, which is illegal.
So a penalty is awarded to Bixby, and La Salette is forced to go back 10.
And they kick the touch, line up for Bixby. Now, we don't want to see these lost scrums. I mean, things happen where the ball is put in wrong, the hooker, his foot was in too soon, and he kicks it forward by accident. But these are the things that can really not be good in later on, which we need to fix early on. In a state championship, you don't want to lose any scrums, so that's why they're getting the misses out of the way. They're practicing.
Bixby has a successful line out. They toss it into their own teammates, retain possession, pass it down to the far side of the field. Past the gain line, just barely, gets tackled down. The gain line for rugby is rather like the line of scrimmage for football.
Pass back far, too far. Pass back too far. Another kid was too short to pick up. Seamus Hanlon takes down a big one. Now that's putting your body on the line there. Seamus Hanlon letting himself getting run over to prevent other teammates from having to tackle him and preventing the other one from maybe even possibly scoring a try. You never know.
Another well-built Bixby tries to smash through the line to no avail. Makes a couple of yards, though. A couple meters, sorry.
Here's a pod. Tony Carlisle hangs on, but loses grip. Making his way there.
This one's got a little bit more horsepower behind him. Pushes just a little bit farther into La Salette territory.
The Bixby fans are getting excited. Their team is getting closer and closer to the try zone. Diving in, a penalty. La Salette has to be on the goal line.
Bixby is definitely tasting perhaps the first try. Just barely there. Perhaps they can snatch a try out of the jaws of defeat.
La Salette goal line defense trying to push him back. And the whole team pushes. They push him back. Now can they keep pushing him back? The forwards are going to crash. Will they try to do a back play? Can they push him back?
Rather strange offload.
And there is a try. Bixby scores their first try here in the second half of this game, putting 5 points on the board. Now can their kicker make the kick? It's going to be a harder kick because it was decently farther out on the line. The sir shows the line on which the kicker can kick. So when it comes to kicking for after a try, it's where the try is scored from that line straight out to the field is where you can kick from. You cannot kick anywhere else. You can only be on that line. You can be as close as you want or as far as you want. Tries a drop kick, and it is no good.
This time the wind is against them and not against us, as it just barely pushes the ball outside the uprights.
Thomas Mackin charging fast. Gets the ball. Ball was not at the 50. Thomas Mackin trying to make a hustle play, trying to get something quick. But his team wasn't ready.
Nor was the ref as he's tying his boots up.
Nor was the ball. But they'll be allowed to have a re-kick, or will it be a scrum?
Bixby's captain looks like he's deciding for a re-kick. Good initiative, as my dad would say, but to no avail.
Peter Ikechuku Agbapuo kicking.
That's a fun name to say.
It is very fun. That's a good kick, too. And Peter goes up to try and tackle him. Now Bixby is returning with renewed vigor, trying to push back the Lions.
Lions trying to tackle him, can't quite bring him to ground. Finally do.
The thing with tackling guys who are very big, you have to get low. If you grab them high, they won't be able. It's really hard to pull them down, especially if they're heavier than you. And a penalty awarded. Not releasing. A good defense by Tony Carlisle.
Often when you tackle the opposing player who has the ball, you can try to scoop the ball out from him, and against his chest, it makes it look like he's not releasing the ball. He really has no choice. It's a tactic in rugby. Often works in awarding yourself 10 free meters to work in.
Well, Salette's B-side seems to be working more with the pushing of the forwards, the crashing of the forwards. They don't seem to get out to the backs as much. Looks like they have more size than the A-side. They try and get it quicker and faster because they have bigger forwards. Seamus Hanlon weighing a good 200, about 210, 220 pounds. Tony Carlisle weighing about 230. Some big guys. Nicholas Kellerman about 210 pounds, 6'4". He's currently not in the game due to, I guess it seems like there was an injury at the beginning. A slight one. He should be able to play later. And Losslet hammers it in with their forwards trying to get the try. They're right there on the try line. And the call is offsides. La Salette gets the penalty.
In rugby, when a ruck is formed, there's the player with the ball on the ground, and then at least one player from each side contesting for the ball above. So they're going to be attached to each other, and they'll be pushing over the ball to see who can gain possession. However, if you come around the gate or the farthest person on the ruck's hindmost part, you are offside, so you have to come directly in from your try zone. They came in from the side is what the penalty is called.
And it looks like Tony Carlisle has a try. Smashing his way through the defense. And Sean Holman will be kicking. John Corner running the water and the tea out to Sean, his classmate. I want to thank John Corner and Gordon Bornos for helping out with all those water jugs and all the pads and all that stuff that is needed for the warm-ups and during the game for the rugby games for both A and B side, as well as Jack Martin. I want to thank them for that.
Special thanks to Ian Fahey, codenamed Padre, for filming both of today's game.
We also want to thank John Reen for flying the drone, which is giving all that good footage. John Reen is not flying the drone for this game, but he was flying it for the A-side game. I think he's recharging the batteries right now. Baton Stapke's working the film. He's working the computer, which is on the film. He's got the scoreboards. He keeps the broadcast on. He's does all the computer work. Without Tom, we would be nothing, for we know nothing about. We know nothing really about technology.
Yeah, we're not very techy. Yeah. Bixby takes their sweet time setting up for the kick. Salette's locked and loaded, ready to receive.
Halfway through halftime is underway. Seamus Hanlon picking it up. There he goes. Oh, he tripped on the orange line. I tell you, those orange lines are always tripping people.
Get us almost every time. Anyways, In football, if your knee touches the ground, I believe that
It's down.
that's a down. In rugby, if there's no opposing player over you completing the tackle, you can get up and keep running.
Henry Betts making his way.
Another pick and go. They take the ball right out of the ruck and smash through the line.
Like by hammering in the middle, La Salette is trying to get Bixby, or was trying to get Bixby now, to center their defense, which they were doing very well, and get it out to the backs so they can have an open run. But
unfortunately, we got caught on not releasing the ball, and a penalty is awarded to Bixby, who promptly kick it into touch.
For their own line out, right in front of the 50-meter line.
The jump for the lineout. Bixby retains possession of the ball, passes it down their line.
They're getting through. Oh, if he passed it out, that could have been on a nice break. That's the thing, you have to pass that. You can't be really selfish with the ball. Rugby is a very team sport. Not releasing. Bixby will kick it into touch. Kicker takes a deep breath. Kicks it right in front of the 50. Or right behind the 50. Made the gain line. Bixby line out number 2. Lost it looking for a steal here. They couldn't get it. Bixby's forwards to the back. He takes it in with some magnificent speed. Number 13, the outside setter for Bixby. And they get a forward to take it in. These forwards for Bixby have been playing back positions as well as forward positions, it seems, passing the ball around, which can really juke out a defense.
It's a good tackle by William Marine, the scrum half. Usually not too many tackles, but he did throw his body in the way of that big chonker.
Joseph Thomas Mackin pulls down the ankle of a guy who is probably 100 pounds heavier than him, Mackin only being 110 and 5 foot. I think he's 5'8". Looks like William Ring got stiff arms to the face. In football, that's a penalty, but in rugby, I don't think there's a penalty for that. Can Lassa hold it up? Held up! Lassa holds it up. What good defense. Good defense by La Salette.
If the defending team can force a hand or a body part or anything between the ball and the ball carrier trying to touch it down, the ref will call ball held up, which means that obviously the ball is held up and there's no way for the ball to go anywhere, and it can't touch down. It can't be taken out of the try zone. So
that was very good goal line defense. It's also considerably hard to do, but if you let yourself get run over, it makes things a whole lot easier.
Ball is awarded to the defending team, who gets a goal line kick.
Another stiff arm. Oh, but he drops it. Carlos Speck forces a drop using his hands.
See some good spreading on the defensive side. A lot of
Thomas Schrader steals it. Kind of an offload there, but it went backwards.
We managed to seal our rucks. We get a player in there so that the other team cannot steal the ball from us.
On the wing. Who is that? That's Martin Shorley. Martin Shorley turns on the gas, hits the gas pedal hard and places it, taunting those Bixby players to come and try and get a piece of him. But no, they cannot. Martin Shorley, number 13. He scored today for B-side. He scored today for varsity.
Cool as a cucumber. Sets it down nice and easy.
In 8th grade, he amassed the nickname Master Oogway because he kind of looked like Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
He has the calm serenity of Master Oogway when he wants to. And honestly, he can probably run about as fast as Master Oogway. Until, as we have seen, he turns on the afterburners and he turns into a little dervish. But for the most part, he's the calm, serene Master Oogway that we all know and love.
He's also famous for his famous saying, when we all think something's going to happen, he just goes, "Nah, dude." And then nothing happens. One time a shot went up during a basketball game. We're all like, "Oh, that's going in." And then Shorbley says, "Nah, dude." And it breaks off the front of the rim. And he assumes his quiet disposition, like nothing ever happened. He's very phlegmatic, but a very fun person, very good person, and a very good classmate because he's a junior. Now, La Salette picks up the score to a very high number, probably the highest this season. They didn't come just to beat Bixby. They came to pound Bixby. And there was a knock on. Seemed like Thomas Schrader just couldn't get his hands on the ball. Those grubbers are really hard to get because of the bouncing of the ball. It's kind of a strange bounce. Not as weird as the football, but still hard to grab. About 5 minutes left in this game. Another scrum for Bixby. We are now joined with some of our A-side players, Titan Esparza, Salo Cruz, Tobias Aquilin, coming up to sit and listen to what they could hear of the broadcast. They played well this game. Bixby putting it in. Some good counter-rucking by La Salette, but they can't really get it in. The thing about counter-rucking is you don't really want to do it as much because it takes people out of the defensive line, which can result in more holes. Another big chunker goes in. He tries to crawl and get some more meters. Thomas back and crawls underneath.
La Salette defense doing a pretty good job of staying spread out, stopping all these rather large people from getting through the line.
Carlos Beck was put in the foot lock by his teammate Joe Mackin by accident after that tackle. Seems like someone from Bixby wanted to dogpile on top. Didn't end too well.
Bixby sends the ball down the back line, trying to see if they can get it out to the wing and smash through. Eventually they are stopped with only a couple meters.
Pushing hard, pressing hard. And looking for a poach there. They don't know what to do. Looks like there's a ruck for him. They didn't get the poach. Oh, that would have been the play. That was the play, but it was knocked forward by Bixby. It'll be a Lions scrum.
Obstruction is called.
It looks like there's a sub. Carlos Speck running off the field. Still waiting to see who's coming in for him. Coming in for Carlos Speck. Squinting our eyes to see about the glare is Patrick Donald coming in. He was playing 8-man earlier in this game. Looks like he's back in, playing a different position.
For rugby, like for soccer, once you sub out, you cannot sub back in unless there's some minor injury or something like that to your own team. So McDonald can come back in because Carlos went out, presumably for minor injury.
Scrum. Won by Bixby. Stiff arm Mackin to the ground. That didn't look good. In the face.
Unfortunately, the ref couldn't see it.
Taking the big man down. That's what Henry does. Henry Dittman is very vicious. There's another one. Henry takes another big hit for the team.
2 smackaroos right in a row. I bet he's not feeling very good.
Number 10. Thomas Mackin takes down one. Right now they're just crashing their big forwards trying to get somewhere, as they did before. Another stiff arm. There's been a lot of stiff arming going on. Tackle by Andrew Sick from Silex, Missouri. Thomas Schrader tries to get one. Schoberly pulls one down. Trying to break through the line, but he is no match for Andrew Sick's.
Oh, the big boy taken down again.
And he's rolling for more meters. Rolling down the road. He's really desperate to get some meters there. Thomas Schrader, another hard tackle.
Looks like Bixby likes to give it to the real chonkers as they get close to the try zone, try to smash it in, whereas we like to pass it out to the wings.
We don't have that mass on our team. We don't have guys who are that big, who are that dominant down there. So we try to get to our quicker guys because that's what we are better at. Try to get to our fast guys. Our forwards pound it in, do all the hard work. Then we get it out to the wings once we have the chance, and they run in and try and score with their speed and agility.
Penalty awarded to Bixby. We were unfortunately offsides.
Looks like they kicked the touch. Bixby Rugby Club kicks it out to touch. There is 0 time left on the clock outside, but we do not know what the ref's clock says.
The ref has a watch on for every match. He has a set amount, but he stops it for any stoppage in play from knock-ons, penalties, etc. So at the end of the match, when the time has run out, he keeps the game going.
Bixby looking to score at least one more time before the game's over. So was La Salette. La Salette's trying to hold him off. The line out, flunked. Pass back. Tackled right in front of the try zone. This cannot be good for La Salette if they lose it. Henry Dittman kicks it out. And that is game.
Hey, Lindenwood is second in the nation for D1 rugby, and they're playing next. Down there. Yeah, they're playing.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this B-side game. 54-5. A good run by our La Salette boys. I want to thank you for watching today's games. It's been a long day. In law managing. Thank you, Malachi Martin.
Yep, anytime, man. Just remember, we will be playing rugby again tomorrow against the Kansas City Blues. So just, remember to pop back in, maybe watch us.
That would be nice. That would be great.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.